What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Now kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. Since the beginning of the NCAA women's basketball season, we're about 6 weeks in. There have been some great storylines since the tip-off, and I want to talk about some Player of the Year candidates that are really separating themselves from the pack. Now, y'all remember I dropped part 1 before the season started, which kind of featured a bunch of returners who were good last year that we expected to continue to carry that torch this season. But in this one, we're looking at a few newcomers as well as a few familiar faces as well that are taking on expanded roles, some transfers, and some freshmen as well. You know, it's a little bit of everything going on. But before we get into all that, make sure to hit the subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest and join our memberships. We got exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now, back to business. Let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
There was a lot of comments on part 1, so if y'all want a part 3, we'll keep it really spicy. Y'all just let me know. Kicking us off is the senior out of Utah, the forward, Alissa Pili, averaging 24 points per game, 5 rebounds, and a block. She put the country on notice when she dropped 37 in 29 minutes against top-ranked South Carolina earlier this month. And then when the Gamecocks coach was asked, she called her impossible to stop. She's the reigning Pac-12 Player of the Year, and the efficiency, her shooting 70% from the field, that's the best in the nation. Then you throw in the combination of strength, versatility, the shooting touch, the excellent footwork, and the ability to finish through contact down low, and you have a serious mismatch. Utah's dealing with some injuries, so they've been leaning on Pili a lot more than last year, but she's stepping up to the challenge, and I gotta say, man, she's probably the most versatile player in the nation. Her inside-outside game, she's been talked about as a first-round draft pick now. ESPN just ranked her as one of their top 5 in women's basketball right now, and there's really not another player like her. So, just gotta appreciate the versatility and the unique value of her game, because she is cooking from anywhere on the floor. And when she was giving it to South Carolina, hey, people don't do that. People don't do that to Dawn Staley's defenses. I'm just saying. But next up, we got one of those freshmen, one of those newcomers I was telling y'all about. Now, back in the summer, I made a video talking about how Juju Watkins was going to come in and be that next superstar in women's college basketball. Fast forward a few months, and she's averaging 26 points per game, almost 7 rebounds, and almost 4 assists, shooting 46%, almost 47% from 3. I don't know if any newcomer in the nation has made a more impressive impact than Watkins at USC, completely turning their fortunes around. She's been better than expected, man. Coming in as the number 1 freshman, she has exceeded expectations already. She had a career-opening 32-point game debut when they upset Ohio State. She has just shown that she can, honestly, just a natural bucket getter. Up there with the likes of Caitlin Clark, man, who she's second nationally to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's the only person that is scoring more than her right now. Watkins has USC undefeated. Her and Ryan Marshall are a dominant 1-2 punch that we're seeing, but Juju not only stayed home at the crib where she's from, is helping rebuild a legacy of a proud college basketball program. You know the Lady of Troy. It's major. It's big vibes down there. LeBron James has pulled up and watched this young lady play. Like, she's giving everybody they've played buckets, like 30-point games, multiple 20-point games. She's doing a little bit of everything, but I just don't know if there's anybody in the nation other than Caitlin Clark that can score the basketball the way that Watkins can. And I told y'all this was coming. But we got another bucket getter we got to talk about as well out in the Big East at Villanova, who's not getting a lot of shine. She wasn't even mentioned in the top 25 on ESPN's list, and I ain't like that because she's out here serving out cold buckets. And that's Lucy Olsen out of Villanova. Almost 24 points per game, 4 rebounds, almost 4 assists per game, shooting at 44% from the field. She is Villanova's everything at 5'9". She plays like a giant. She's got a university on her back, and she's given everything she's got night in and night out. She can shoot it with the best of them in the nation, a straight-up sniper. Just limitless range. She can get to the cup. She's taking double teams, triple teams, and I mean, we're talking about the junior who has just when we mention players that are taking on bigger roles, Olsen is one of those players who has completely just gotten better every single year, and she can come back for another season. Now, Villanova's 7-5, so her team isn't as good as and they haven't had the start of a lot of these other players' teams, so I think she's getting a little slept on, and people not really watching Villanova. But 24 points per game, I mean, you top 5 in the nation in scoring, you doing something. She's one of the most exciting players in the nation that nobody is talking about, so we gotta talk about it because it's disrespectful, man. It's crazy you could be averaging 24 a game and still be an underrated star, somebody that's slept on, but somebody that I think will continue to take the nation by storm. They just got to win some more games, but it's a team game. It's a team sport. But Olsen is the real deal, straight up. When we talk about MVP and Player of the Year, we always talk about the best player on the best team. And by those standards, we cannot overlook Kamilla Cardoso out of South Carolina, averaging a double-double. Has completely taken over for Aaliyah Boston, and the team looks better this year. They look hungrier this year, and Cardoso has been a very, very pivotal piece for the South Carolina Gamecocks so far this season. She's averaging 14 points and 10 boards a game and shooting 62% from the field. I don't know if any player has been more dominant on both sides. She's also leading the nation in blocks as well. I don't know if any player in the nation has been as dominant as her on both sides. She's one of the most mobile bigs in the nation. I mean, she gets down that court and is ready to catch the lob and finish with 2. Her size at 6'7" is just almost unstoppable to deal. I mean, she's basically unstoppable. You can't deal with her on the block, man. She gets the ball in that paint and she's finishing. She's got the wingspan, the mobility, the physicality. She gets a go-to move, it's going to be over. But we see the rebounding, we see the field goal percentage, and we see her averaging almost 4 blocks per game. Almost 4 blocks per game. She was the 6th Woman of the Year last season in the SEC. She had a huge game against Iowa in the national semifinal. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cardoso is the real deal. She's the anchor in the paint and one of the best bigs in the nation, and definitely a solidified, bona fide top 5 draft pick. But next, we got to talk about another newcomer who's a smaller guard with more limitless range than just about anybody in the nation, and who has really stepped up for a team in need who's lost 2 starters in the backcourt. That's Hannah Hidalgo, who has completely been the feature piece for this Notre Dame squad, and she has been lighting it up, y'all. Hidalgo at 5'6" is averaging 23 points per game, almost 24, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 6 steals per game. Are you kidding me? 6 steals a game? Don't dribble the ball near her. Olivia Miles has not played a game yet, and Notre Dame is 8-1 and ranked number 14 in the nation. Now, I know she didn't come in with as much hype as Michaela Williams and Juju Watkins, but she still came in with a reputation to be able to score it and pick pockets, and that's what she's been doing, man. Leading the NCAA in steals and being 4th in scoring is no joke. That's the definition of being a two-way player, and she's got the Irish in the thick of things right now in the ACC, and you just imagine when Olivia Miles comes back, and they get Citron, bro, they might have the best backcourt in the nation at Notre Dame. Mega star power with these 2 freshmen, man, with Watkins and Hidalgo. I mean, Hidalgo shoots it from anywhere. She's dangerous. She's lightning quick, like crazy first step. She can finish at the rim amongst the trees. She's crafty around the bucket. I love her game. She's like the female Trae Young out there. I love watching her ball on the string, just out there getting after it, y'all. Speaking of undersized guards that were maybe a bit slept on before the season, we got to talk about one of the best two-way players in the nation, and Rori Harmon, who's got Texas firing on all cylinders, and she is a straight-up dog. Another one that can straight shoot the leather off the ball, has deep range, is crazy coming off the pick and rolls, can go either hand, finishing at the cup. She's averaging 14 points, almost 8 assists and 3 steals on the year. There we go. She's picking up right where she left off last year. She's cut down on the turnovers. She's shooting the rock at an all-time high. When you talk about somebody that worked on their game during the summer and made strides, yo, I mean, Harmon's efficiency this year, the assist-to-turnover ratio, lead in the country at 6.64. She just gave UConn 27-13 a couple weeks ago. Statement win. She flirted with a triple-double against Arizona, 1 rebound shy. She's got that tenacity, that fire. She's the heart of this Texas team. Whenever they need a big play, whenever they need some energy, yo, Harmon is providing it. She's been one of the best point guards in the nation, and I think that she's proven night in and night out, she's not going to get outplayed. So she's been exceptional for Texas, and as a team, Texas has been really fun to watch, and they look like a team that could challenge the UCLAs and the UConns of the world when we get to March. Speaking of fighting for a championship, we got to talk about the defending champs and Aneesah Morrow, the big-time transfer out of DePaul, who we knew was going to come and make an impact, but she's completely hit her stride now. She had to take over as the number 1 option. Angel Reese was out. Katari Poole was out. Haley Van Lith was out. You know what I'm saying? And her and Michaela Williams have really steered the ship and kept LSU in the thick of things and in the top 10. So, honestly, man, Morrow is now figuring it out with Angel Reese as well. And they're going to be a very, very tough duo to stop, man. You're not going to find too many teams that are going to be able to keep those two off the boards. Morrow has been the best player and most consistent player for LSU thus far. She's averaging 18 points a game, almost 19, 9 boards, almost a double-double, and shooting almost 50% from the field. Now, I mentioned, expectations were high when she announced that she was transferring into LSU, and she has really looked good the last, 3-4 weeks. She had 6 points in their opener when they got smoked by Colorado. And, it was a lot of talk, and we were kind of looking like she really got to find her spot in this offense and really establish herself. She was removed from the starting lineup. I'm sure it was a humbling experience. But with the injuries, they had to rely on her. They put her back in the starting lineup, and Morrow has not looked back since. When you talk about Morrow, you got to talk about the versatility, her ability to stretch the floor from the 3, put it on the floor, and get to the basket off the dribble, beating her opponent off the dribble, beating them in the post, back to the basket. Like, she can score from anywhere, fade away, over the shoulder, 3-ball. She runs the floor well. I mean, she's really a wing and a 4, like a post. She could play anywhere on the floor. You talk about a versatile player. We mentioned Pili, but hey, the closest thing to her might be Aneesah Morrow. I'm just saying, but she's looked great. And she's been the best player for LSU, like we mentioned, the most stable. They've rode her to several wins in a row so far. When Angel Reese was out, Haley Van Lith's been out. When they get to full strength, LSU will definitely be back in the thick of things, and they'll have something to say about that natty, because you don't have too many guards that can get a shot from anywhere off the dribble, that can just flat out score it no matter what. And they got 2 of them, Michaela Williams and Haley Van Lith. And then Aneesah Morrow has just been exceptional. So we had, some upperclassmen, some underclassmen, all getting to it. So that concludes part 2. Let me know how y'all feel about everything. Let me know, more players we need to be talking about. How are these players stacking up? And if you think, of course we didn't talk about Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, there's a few others, Cameron Brink, because we talked about them in part 1, in case you were wondering. So go check out part 1. This is part 2. Y'all know, holler at me. Let me know how y'all feel about everything, and we'll drop a part 3. Let me know. And thank you for the support, man. Much love to everybody. Shout out to the Breezies out there. Much love. I can't do this without y'all. I couldn't do it without y'all. So much love, much respect. Until next time, hey, I'm Brandon Blakeney, a.k.a. Brandon Lee TV, your host. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest. Until next time, hey, we out.